Hi, Amanda. Welcome to Loyalty Economics. 5 minutes, one expert. Let's ask the question. If you were to choose the most important factor in loyalty economics, which would it be and why?
So, Carly, thanks for having me. I would hang my hat on incremental sales and
Okay.
then incremental margin. It's something that I talk about all the time with our clients or in our training programs. And it's just one of those things that so many practitioners get wrong because you'll often hear loyalty managers say, yeah, my program's a real success because I've got the members have double the basket size or double the frequency, double the customer
Mm.
value. But obviously, built into that is self-selection. So your best customers naturally will join your program, and the best customers will naturally probably spending double the average customer anyway. So the incrementality measure is so critical, but yet it's very difficult to measure in some industries. So some industries it's easier, and in some industries it's incredibly hard. So we hang our hats at truth, and and this is backed up by a lot of data on about a plus 4 to 6% incrementality. So if you're bumbling along at $100 million and you implement a really great loyalty program and all the basics are right, you should be able to see this plus 4 to 6% after inflation, after like for like sales growth and so on. So that plus 4 to 6%, we've had that tested when we've done research in our training programs. We've asked like 100 people, what is your incremental performance of the program? And it comes out at about 4 or 5%. We have the South African Loyalty Awards, which are completely confidential and anonymous data, but we ask that question in KPI structure in the awards. And again, it's about 4 to 6%. So it's
Awesome.
very well stress tested as a result. I do know some practitioners around the world talk about plus 10%. I would be nervous to put that into a business case because I just think
Mm.
it's too bold. But you could, like, if you're doing a business case with sort of low, medium, high, shoot the lights out scenario, you could put 10% in the shoot the lights out. But effectively, we see, for example, in the banking industry, you can work that out by how many incremental products is a customer now taking since they joined the program, because you could see it before, and then in retailing, it's more of this rounded number of 4 to 6%. So, but it is difficult to measure. So in the financial services industry, it's a lot easier to measure.
Mm.
Um, in insurances and so on, because you've got the historical data against the KYC, know your customer
Yeah.
data point.
Hmm.
But in retail, it's very difficult because the customer came in before, but you didn't know who Amanda Cromhout was. And now I've
Yeah.
joined the program. You've got none of the historical data. So there's lots of great ways of being able to try and get that incremental measure using cohort analysis. And there's lovely examples around the world where they've done it either on a regional basis or just looking at like for like customers across different variants with control groups. But it's not easy to measure, but it's critical to measure. And unfortunately, we see some of our clients or some of the companies we work with really struggling with this and really have never done it. And it's quite an eye opener when we kind of hit hard and go, you've got to measure this. Otherwise, how are you really proving the difference? Otherwise, your finance director is going to catch you out.
Always. Do you think people understand it in depth? Do you think as a global industry we're really getting it? Or do you think there's still a fair bit of understanding that we really need to get to?
I think it's quite well understood in principle, but I'm not sure it's really well implemented, as I've just said. So I think principally
Mm.
people get it.
Mm.
Maybe not new people to loyalty. So someone's just been tasked, the marketing exec's just been tasked to create the loyalty program. I don't think they would get that. I think they would just be excited that the basket size is double or whatever. Um, and then the other element of it that I didn't mention before is actually then being able to measure the incremental margin. So if it's 4 to 6%
Perfect. Yeah.
incrementality, like what's the real positive impact? Like once you take the cost of sale or cost of goods sold out of the equation, so that you can really measure if the program's costing me this to run, what am I really bringing in as incremental margin? And then how are you balancing it to get the return on investment? So yeah, there's a lot to it, but it's so critical. And I mean, I love a lot of the KPIs we could talk about, but if I had to really hone in on one, it would be this one.
Oh, you're amazing. Thank you, Amanda. And I love the fact that you're coming from building loyalty programs in such a long career. You run research, you know the data, and you've got obviously the South African awards, etc. So you're coming from the absolute place of expertise on this one. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Carly. Great idea. Thanks for having me on here.